Hello all of my architects over there on the other side of the screen. Today I want to be talking to you about architecture, and I want to talk to you about my own architectural dream. And this at this point is very a crude dream, and I don't know the specifics, and this might be a pipe dream, but I know if you are a very ambitious architect and a world-class one, I would hope that there are some people like this looking at this channel. And I want really to tell you that I would want a building that is tailored to my needs. Because I feel that every building I step inside of is kind of not for me. That it was never designed for me, you know. I feel in every kind of organization also that this is not my place. Like this wasn't designed for me. People's beliefs, people's ideas, people's like way of moving even are so kind of not me, you know, that I never belong in this place. So I would want a building that is tailored to my needs. Is this possible if you are an architect? I'm going to ask you a question. Like, what are my needs? If I really tell you about my needs as a person, it might be related to like what I do. Well, at the moment I'm in this room, and this room has a lot of echo in it. You know, it makes my voice not sound very good because there's echo. I went to a room once with hi-fi equipment, and it had all kinds of acoustic panels and that kind of stuff, and my voice was perfect there, you know, that kind of stuff. But is that really my need, you know? That's what I really want the architect to ask me. I kind of feel that I want to find an architect, and I don't have any money to pay you, but I just want to kind of give you some freaking wisdom, because I believe that I have that. Just ask me, as a psychologist would ask, like, what are your needs? What do you really need? Do you know? You know, I'm gonna say off the top of my head that the sound should be good. I should sound good in the building, you know? And then you know, if you are an architect, you know the solutions for this, you know. I'm gonna ask you a crazy question. Could you make a building out of soft materials, not hard? You know, concrete, steel, that's hard. Like, how does that affect like sound, and how does that affect everything? You know, if you ask me like how would you tailor a building to my needs? You know, you could have hugely like big spaces, you know, and say that, well, this is good for even the fattest guy in the whole world, you know. Everybody could fit in this one. But is that tailored to your needs? If I sold you a fucking suit that was the hugest freaking suit ever, you know, XXXL, you know, and you would put it on somebody like me, and I'm like, this suit, for example, is like 46. Smallest suitcase like available. Fits me fine, but it's not tailored for me. So if I would want a tailored, like for example, a home, I'm gonna say to you that I don't want a home. If you are an architect, I don't want a home, I want something more than a home, you know? Like, I want something more than a home. Like, what's a home? Like, it's like, what's a home anyway? Like a place where you go to sleep, you know, a place where you play video games. Well, you have to understand that you might do those things in your home because your home is so unsuited for you, you know. You have to understand that almost anything in this life hasn't been like designed especially for you. It's all like a big compromise, your whole life. And if you are an architect, like, have you had a customer that really comes to you, like a wealthy one, like with huge amount of money, and says to you that, like, can you make me something that is like perfect for me? Like, where would you start? Would you ask questions? What do you want? Well, what if the person doesn't know? Like, what do I need? You know, I said to you about the acoustics. But I could also say to you that I really hate wooden floors. Like I really hate floors that are wood, you know? I really don't like wood as a floor material, or plastic, you know, the type of mat that is in the apartment buildings. I think they both feel like shit, you know? I don't like carpets. I don't like places that get a lot of dust in them. I wouldn't want, you know, these window kind of, you know, where the window is kind of like indented into the building, you know, that you get this, you know, what's that called? Window board. I wouldn't want those. And then you ask me, well, what kind of windows would you want in a building? Like, does a building have to have windows? And like, why are windows always placed in the walls? Well, then the architect probably knows the limitations of building, but at the same time, the globe, it has like amazing buildings, you know. Like think about those like skyscrapers in something like Abu Dhabi, and like, did those architects, were they the run-of-the-mill guy that was like, yeah, that can't be done, you know, it's just too high, it can't stand it? No, they were like kind of like, well, hundreds of millions of dollars, we're probably gonna find a way to do it, and they found a way to do it. So, were those buildings tailor-made for anybody? Well, that's a different kind of, you know, question. Probably not. Maybe. Who knows? So, if you sell a XXL suit to a man that is like this size and say to him that anybody can fit in this suit, this will be surely good for you, he's gonna look like shit in it and won't feel pretty good in it. You know, he probably can't even dare to like go out with the suit. And I believe that there are so many buildings that are kind of that, but like reverse, that you don't dare to go out of them. You know, bad design. Like, does the, for example in homes, like, does the door always have to be in the front, you know, of the home? Like, why is that? Like, why? Like, there are these, you know, basic concepts that are so like, why are all the buildings built like this? It's so unimaginative. For example, this room I'm in right now, this is a square. And I can say that I fucking hate squares as a shape. I fucking hate squares, you know. Like, think about having a fucking hat that is the shape of a square, you know. It would look fucking stupid, you know. Make it a round, you know. Why don't you have a round fucking, like a room? Well, you're gonna say that it's impossibly hard to make, like, for example, windows and well, how are you ever going to like place a fucking sofa there? Well, why do you have to make the sofa a straight line, you know? Why does everything have to be straight lines? It doesn't have to be that way. Of course it could be manufactured otherwise. It's just that mass manufactured crap is like that, and I live amongst this, and I kind of feel bad, you know, living amongst this. This kind of hurts my mind all the time to just look at this fucking shit. So if you are an architect, I could be like your mind challenger, and then you would go with these crazy notions to your who are those people? Those guys that actually, you know, would build this type of stuff, and they would say that, yeah, that's impossible. Put more money into this. I'm sure we would find those guys that could do it. You know. So, if you're an architect, have more vision. You know, have more vision. like possible, you know. It might be like, it might be fucking impossible to do, but let's find a way to do it. And let's ask good questions, you know. Like, we human beings, we really have to find a new way to live it in general. I want more than a home. Thanks for watching.